Extra hot.
Welcome. Oh no, it's extra hot. Where
Mike's
Rock is
are
at.
hot.
So guys, we got the hot and cold motif going on here. Like, I'm getting the nerves, getting a case of the nerves. Finally got the AC fixed. Whew. And clearly Rock is descending through Dante's Inferno over there.
That is correct.
Awesome. Rock,
Thanks for
welcome
having
back.
me on again.
My pleasure. Thanks for coming back on to do this live coin fork experience event.
I'm so excited.
So we're getting questions from the comments, guys. If you're not familiar with RockSteady from the TurtleCoin project, RockSteady, people.
Welcome. Hello.
So RockSteady was on the show last week, and we talked about the TurtleCoin project, kind of where it came from, why they chose to go the route they did with it, what problems it was meant to solve, what they're doing culturally with their team right now, why people continue to contribute, why it's got so much grassroots support. And Rock was like, hey, we've got a really easy to fork repo. You want to make a new coin. So here we are. So I'll do a quick screen share, and I want to say that I've got GitHub open in the background, and I've also got Vultr open in the background, and I've got my repo right there. But if I were to go, you mentioned if I go to github.com/turtlecoin/turtlecoin, this is pretty much all we need.
Yep, you just click that button in the top right corner that says fork, and then tell it where you want it to be forked and what you'd like to name it, and you can get started right there.
Nice. So
I believe we've already got that set up to save some time, so thank you for doing that ahead of time.
Yeah, my pleasure. So it looks like we just get... Hey guys, is the stream frozen? Let me know. I'm seeing a little bit of a frozen preview on my end. I'm not sure if the stream is actually frozen on your end.
It's moving over here. I'm watching.
Awesome. Yeah, I just upgraded Streamlabs, and it's been giving me a little bit of trouble today.
Gotcha.
But I've got it forked right over here. And so here's CryptoNote Foundation. CryptoNote forked here to my GitHub repo. Yeah, it looks like I am getting some feedback from the audience that I'm frozen here.
Oh, dang. Yeah, you're right. It is.
Yeah, no worries, guys.
So that's actually the wrong repository, the CryptoNote repo. You want to grab the TurtleCoin repository.
Got it. Interesting. Okay, well, let's jump back over here and let's see what the deal is. So when I clicked on fork right here at TurtleCoin,
there you go.
All right, guys. So what do we got?
There you go.
All right, good deal. Okay, so got the TurtleCoin repo open from here. That was easy. One button to fork the repo, and now, as a layperson, where do I go from here?
So from here, the meat and potatoes of your currency network is going to be inside of that folder right there marked source, SRC. So have you thought of a name for what you're going to name this?
Yes, I have.
All right, great. Scroll down. Let's go to cryptonoteconfig.h. Oh, also, it would help to tell everybody, let's pull up a new tab and type in how to fork TurtleCoin. There's also a wiki that walks you through this in great detail. Today, we're going to kind of cover the basics of it to kind of get you guys started with things like how your blockchain is going to perform in response to block time and that type of stuff. We're going to define a name for it, and we'll go from there and show you how to get it launched up on the seed nodes. But the meat and potatoes of the customization is up to you. It's kind of like a blank canvas. So we look forward to seeing your ideas. So how to fork TurtleCoin. We've got a forking guide right there, Forking TurtleCoin. If you click that one, that one goes through every parameter in deep detail. The first one is the misspelled licenses section. So the whole thing that made us make this guide of how to fork TurtleCoin properly is because we were getting a lot of people that were forking TurtleCoin to make their own network, and I guess they were afraid to ask for help whenever they'd run into trouble. And so we'd see like really obvious errors, but then we wouldn't have as easy of a time to get people to speak to us because we'd go to their chat to help them out, like, hey, we need to fix this thing here, and people would just clam up. And then conversely, we had people who would fork the software improperly and remove all of the licenses. And, you know, while it doesn't affect us that much, it does affect like the general climate of open source software, and it doesn't give other people the same advantage that we had in having that source code available to do what we do. So we just want to give everybody else the same opportunities that we had, and that's the quick little license right there that we throw at the top of all the files. So you can also add yours underneath that little statement there as the TurtleCoin developers. So let's scroll down a little bit, and it'll go through some of the different elements that we're going to hit today.
Okay.
Keep going a little bit.
Okay. Oh, the actual forking process.
Yeah, there you go. So that's an illustration that shows you where you need to click and fork. The majority of where our changes are going to take place are in this source cryptonote config file. If you want to go back to the other tab, we can go back to that, and I'll somewhat walk you through the basics of this. So tell us a little bit about your concept for what you'd like to do. What are you going to call it?
So I think what I'm going to call it, we put it to a vote, and a lot of people were like, why don't we just call it what it is? First off, they see me spending a lot of time with Chris. They're like, it's got to be oh god a something. And so why don't we call it oh god a shitcoin? It's like,
there you go. Oh god a shitcoin.
But I was like, yeah, it's a little on the nose. Others were like, maybe it's a little like TurtleCoin, only you're really slow at development, so we'll call it Tortoise Coin.
There you go.
And then I was like, that's okay. But I think realistically, my idea for this coin is that it'll start right now, and we'll go live as soon as I'm able to get enough guidance to change proof of work and have this become a proof of work concept for ProgPal. So with that in mind, we decided to call it Canary Coin, because this would be the canary in the mine.
That would be really cool.
If this can't be mined on GPUs, then I'm sorry, nothing else can be in the future. That's the idea.
I'm already looking forward to this.
Cool.
All right, so let's go over to your. Well, I'm over here clicking on the live stream. Let's go over to your other tab where your forked repo is.
Okay. I'm getting guys. I'm getting feedback from the comment section that my mic is a little bit quiet. Is that correct? Is it still quiet?
Is that me or you?
It's telling me my mic is quiet. Yeah, we'll be okay.
They told me I sounded like a little girl last time. I'm not kidding. I wish I could say I'm kidding, but I'm not kidding.
Wow. Really, guys? Really? I'm fine. Oh, you know what? Yeah, no, this thing did everything wrong. Wow, it did. It reset all of my settings, guys. I'm so sorry. You were totally right on. My mic was quiet because it messed up all of my settings. Jeez Louise. Well, okay, it's not going to get much better, guys, so I'm going to try to address the microphone a little more carefully. So, awesome. Here we are, back at the repo.
Yeah, so this is think of this as kind of like the recipe for what you're going to do. So if you decided how long your blocks are going to be, I guess in the beginning you'll have a overall low transaction volume. So what's your block target time?
Block target time?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
So we're just going from top to bottom there. The line that I'm talking about specifically is line 18. So in TurtleCoin, we have very insanely fast blocks. Our blockchain is almost the size of the entire Bitcoin blockchain at this point. So there's pros and cons to having really fast block time and also having really long block time. Conversely, we have a currency that's forked from TurtleCoin called Athena that has 1 hour block times. And if it doesn't have 2 transactions waiting in the queue, then it just doesn't produce a block at all. So it's about 1 block per day currently. So you can set that to whatever you want. You could be a wild boy and do 24 hours if you wanted to, or you could do, a minute. But the things that you're risking by doing very fast block times is that you'll have instances where you'll create orphans. So the way that TurtleCoin resolves the part where, like, let's say two mining pools or two miners reach the same correct answer for a block at the same time, momentarily two chains will be created. And those two chains will keep going for a while, and then whenever one overpowers the other, then the lesser dominant chain drops off and becomes what's called an orphan. Those transactions disappear, the money returns back to the people that sent them, and they can try again. So 30 seconds we're noticing, although that's somewhat the minimum for block time going forward these days, it is still pretty fast. And if you don't have an abundance of hash rate coming at it, then it could lead to trouble. So, yeah, you already clicked the edit button. That's exactly, you can edit from inside of GitHub. A lot of people don't know this, but if you're doing a lot of work just inside of one file, it's pretty handy to do, especially if you're not too concerned with operating from the command line. But ultimately, it is more useful if you're doing a bunch of files or adding a directory or something like that to use a local editor.
Hey guys, disclosure: I've used GitHub once or twice. Don't check out my other repos. None of them violate GDPR for the purpose of growth hacking. They don't. So just don't look. So awesome!
Right.
I'm getting feedback. Some noise from the audience. They're saying, "Hey, go for 2 minutes."
2 minutes? There you go. So 120.
I mean, we can go 350 though. I'm saying 350. So let's do, what is that? Oh gosh. 350. 350.
There you go. So the next one that you're going to do, so max block number and max blob size and max TX size don't really matter too much. Obviously, you don't want to go modifying them willy-nilly. The max block number, I believe, is like the last block in your chain. I'm not sure what happens after that. I'm sure we'll find out sooner than most people, given that we have 30-second blocks, but I'm sure we're just going to worry about that when we get there. But the wiki actually goes into this a lot deeper. The next one...
It'd be like Y2K. It's like, oh, hey, everything is still running. We're fine.
It's like, oh, crap, we've run out of 64-bit integers, and we didn't think about that. So... the next one we're going to go to is the public address base 58 prefix. Okay, so that one is line 23. So whenever you fire up TurtleCoin, you'll notice that all of our public addresses, our little account addresses, start with TRTL. And so what that affects is, or what affects that is this base 58 prefix. Now, not all combinations are possible. And you can also create too much length. So
let's just see what the internet yields here.
Yeah, you're looking for specifically, because we're using CryptoNote base 58, you're looking for forknote.net/create. Forknote is the project that enabled TurtleCoin to fork from the original Bytecoin codebase. It moves a lot of these configuration parameters into a single interface like this right here. So you can actually use this to generate a lot of the parameters for what we're about to do. So go ahead and pull up another tab, and the next tab is going to be cryptonotestarter.org, which is kind of the site that we're trying to replace with this whole effort, because you may have gone through this before, and if you click Start Now, it should bring you to a... Okay, scroll down. Whenever it says fork this repository, that's the old CryptoNote repository that has a lot of errors. So go to your desired address prefix right there, that box on the left. Scroll up a little bit. All right, and have you decided what you want to put in there? Let's try a few different combinations.
O
is probably not going to be easy to find.
Oh, man. Okay.
It's best to go per letter, because if the first letter doesn't work, then the last letter is not going to work.
That makes perfect sense.
And it's also case sensitive. So if uppercase doesn't work, then a lowercase might.
Okay. Okay, I promise I'm not going to go full meme coin here. I was going to put PPAP, but that's just seems It's a little bit too ludicrous. Not related. No.
Oh,
no.
Yes. Yes. This is the one. This is the one.
All right. Done.
There you go. So copy that on the left. And so on the right. Sorry. Okay. I was just making sure you were paying attention. So what I do is I normally pull up another tab. And although they say that we can just put this raw hex into there without the 0x prepend, I'm calling bullshit on that because it's blown up in my face a lot of times. I do hex to decimal or hex to integer. And there's a certain converter that I use. Hex to decimal.
That's a decimal, okay.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, and you're looking for that first one.
Okay.
All right, paste it in there and take off the 0x. Convert. All right, so grab 453910, and then we'll put that in the box under base 58 prefix.
Go back.
Right there. You're good. You're in the right spot.
Okay. All right.
So take out the number 3914525 because that corresponds to turtle on line 23.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I got out of place there.
It's okay. And one thing to remember, the great thing about Git, the whole purpose about Git is that you're free to mess up. And if you make any errors, it's no problem. You can always roll it back. That's the whole point of this. And I can't tell you how many times I've had a laptop literally become unusable, and I've had to go fetch my stuff from GitHub, which has saved my butt so many times.
And if you're like me, you just use the web editor so that I can just make all the mistakes, and it makes my commit history look awesome. I'm always pushing commits.
Hey, there's no shame. You know, I aliased the vim command to nano on my machines, so no shame. So the next one is going to be the mind money unlock window. So if you have a long amount of time, then you're not going to really wait too long to mature a block. Basically what this affects is, so you send some money to an exchange, and we don't know if that money wrote into the exchange on an orphan block or if it wrote in on a regular block that's going to be accepted. So in TurtleCoin, since we have a block every 30 seconds, we mature those blocks for 8 minutes, which is 40 blocks. To make sure that if it's on an orphan chain, that we don't erroneously credit a withdrawal or something like that in a less amount of time than it needs to confirm truly. So that could get people in a little bit of hot water if you set that to something like 1. So if we go to that fork note generator, we can actually plug in the rest of our parameters. The other one?
Okay.
Right there. Okay, so your address prefix is going to be 453910 that we just generated. See, it says Seth. That's how you can verify. So we can also put in your difficulty target in seconds. I believe you had 210.
Mm-hmm. Tree
all right.
fitty. It's tree fitty. That's 3 minutes and 3.5 minutes, really.
That's actually really good because, you know, your blockchain isn't going to get really bloated towards the end. TurtleCoin, we have an entire milestone dedicated to fixing our bloat issue. So you'll notice that as you change that target on the right, if you mouse over those curves, it's going to show you the emission rate and where your coin is going to be on what day. And so what affects the steepness of this curve is the coin decimal point. Now this is your what's called emission. So if you want to use the up and down on that number 12 there, you can kind of see how fast all your whole supply is going to be emitted. Well, that's decimal points. I'm sorry. I meant the 18.
Yo, got it.
Sorry, I had a few anxiety beers before this whole thing. I was like, all right, Seth's stream. Don't mess it up.
It's okay, Ray. Both of us, right? I picked a bad day to stop sniffing glue. You're in good company, Rock.
There you go. All right, so emission speed factor there. Whenever you scroll up and down on that, it affects how much of the coin supply comes out in each block. So a lot of people think that TurtleCoin puts out way too many coins, but two things kind of affect that. Our emission takes place over, I think, 100 to 200 years, something like that, before we're done spitting out, extra coins for block reward. So we also only have 2 decimal points. So that increases the amount of coins, but overall what really matters is the amount of atomic units, which is what you're putting into that block there, or into that third blank that says money supply atomic units.
Mm-hmm.
What's actually in there is the 64-bit integer limit. So you remember how you mentioned Y2K, and you were around for that. I mean, you got a fresh baby face, but I'm sure you remember that in the womb.
I was gonna say I was literally I was a grown man of legal drinking age when it happened. But go on.
There you go. So the issue with that was they basically thought that we were running out of number space. And what happens if the numbers loop back around? Well, currently our processors can only render 64 bits of numbers, and this is that number right there. So you'll know if you go and put a bunch of zeros at the end of that number, it'll turn red. And so that's what you're looking for. So as long as it doesn't turn red, you know that you have enough coins. So are you looking for something that's going to be really scarce, or do you want it to be plentiful? What's the purpose of this network? Is it store of value, or is it transactional in nature?
I think I actually want it to be transactional. I don't want it to be a store of value. And I don't want to run into the Bitcoin problem of us looking at atomic units that are into the hundreds and thousands and the ridiculousness that is the Satoshi.
I see that. Is that why you have 2 decimal points?
I mean, it just kind of naturally flowed there.
That's pretty gangster. I see you are also gangster. That's great. So let's type in the amount of atomic units you want. It doesn't have to be a specific number, but for example, Ethereum they're pretty close to the 64-bit integer limit with the amount that they're planning to emit, and I think they're emitting them in perpetuity. And the reason is because they probably chop up a lot of that Ethereum into gas and pay for very small operations with it. So if yours is mainly transactional, think of how much money the entire world would need, and what do you want a cup of coffee to cost?
Well, I think it's imperative that we start with 350.
That'll work.
Yeah, right. So
that'll work. Okay, and a premine is pretty difficult to do, but you can go ahead and do it, and our guide actually supports walking you through it. So if you want to do a premine and start a foundation or something like that, you can go ahead and put it in there, and it'll tell you.
Let me turn to the audience, guys. Hey, make some noise. Premine, yes. For a foundation, think the children.
Keep in mind, this is pretty much a test net, for now. But well, actually, you know what? You probably could set a fork height and then switch to Prog POW and not worry about doing a token exchange or anything like that.
I think that's that sounds like a really great way forward. I think that's, let's go that way.
That's fine.
So, no premine is what I'm hearing in the comments or seeing in the comments.
Turtle Coin was 0 premine, and I mined the first block, and that was it. So.
Yeah, Wes has a really great question. Where do I premine your coin?
Yeah, there you go.
Fair point.
Well, it's you use the DeLorean for that. But all right, so we've got 2 decimal points. We've got 0.
Yeah, I'm seeing yes for a foundation in the comments also. Some people saying no premine. Masternode coin? No, Patty man. Roy says true 50%.
A lot of people are. Andy Martinez says premines are whack. And then Roderick Crawford says, let's give away the entire premine. You might as well go with 0 at this point, and it's easier.
Yeah, fair enough. I was going to say, though, I do like the idea of having a premine that goes back to the community, and that's set aside. How about this, guys? Let's set aside that premiine. If I'm going to do this, and this is a bit of a publicity stunt, that premine is going to go into a bounty for assisting with Prog POW integration. You heard it here first?
That's a great idea.
So I take nothing. Not a thing. If I don't take bounties from other coins, then I won't take it from this coin. So
I gotta say, that's making me blush over here. That's very noble of you.
That's what we do, man. That's what we do. That's why we're here.
That's cool. So let's look at your curve, and we're looking at basically like a 12, 15-year coin. As far as the emission rate, later on you can add things like a tail emission rate if you'd like to, or we can just continue the way we are now.
Okay.
All right, let's go ahead and add your seed nodes into the bottom. Do you know what your seed nodes are going to be?
No.
Do you know your IP address for them?
No. I've got a Vultr account and I've got credit on Vultr, but I haven't even provisioned the machine yet.
Oh, great. Yeah, we can do that now. Go ahead and pull up your Vultr account.
Oh, also, guys, hey, shameless plug. Oh, I've got referral links.
Sweet. Put that in the chat. I've always been meaning to try it out.
Alrighty, guys. There you go. So disclosure. Oh, it didn't let me. Wow.
Just hey, copy that little referral, the $ref, and just throw that in the chat.
I'll do you one better. I already made a branded short link. I know. This is how we get paid in the content game. There we go. Get Vultr.
I don't knock the hustle.
So there it is, guys. So disclosure, I get a kickback. That feeds this project, though. You see that. You see exactly what the terms are.
All right, so we can create a server, and what we're looking at here is basically a very basic Linux application. So we want to choose Linux as the operating system. Right off the bat, it's going to install very well on Ubuntu. It works great on the latest LTS. That's kind of what we try to target because the most people use it.
Okay. So
click on deploy one now. There you go. And ideally, you choose 2 different data centers because you don't want your seed nodes going down if, let's say you use DigitalOcean, and it by default tries to stick everything in the 3rd New York data center. And so if that data center goes down for maintenance, which it often does, then all your seed nodes go down. And the role that a seed node plays is it basically provides a copy of the chain for the people that connect to your software initially. So as soon as they start up the software, they're going to reach out for the seed node that's defined in the binary, and it's going to say, hey there, seed node, let's go ahead and get started syncing, and in the meantime, let me see your phone book of peers that I should talk to. And so from there, it's going to grab a list of all of its friends and start talking to everybody that the seed node's talking to. So what we want to do is just pick 2 different locations. So New York would be great, and Seattle's on the other side of the country. So you could choose one or the other. I think we have to create them one at a time.
Yeah, it looks like it. Oh, yeah, got options. There we go. And you said 1804
yeah,
is okay?
1804 is great. And then make sure it's a 64-bit OS. You need to be 64-bit for TurtleCoin.
Okay, so it is 64-bit. It's not giving me the option to go with the standard or with the LTS, but I'm just taking for granted that they're using LTS.
1804 is the LTS. Anything with 04 at the end is the LTS.
Okay, cool.
Yep. So Ubuntu 1804 is good. Let's see your specs there. 1 CPU core and 2 gigabytes of memory. That's perfect, and it's actually fairly low cost. That $2.50 one, the 1 CPU with 512 memory, you might be able to compile on that, but I gotta recommend, if you do, because I know some people will try, you're going to need to increase your amount of swap space. And if you increase your amount of swap space, make sure you set it up also in a file that's called your mtab, so that whenever you reboot, your swap is still persistent. So anyway, that being said, that's just to the nerds and turkeys and turtles out there that need help.
Okay, sure. So somewhere in between, like about a full a gig of memory.
Yeah, that 10 a month one would be perfect. That's the size of the seed nodes currently.
Oh wait, so 2 gigs memory. We want to go with 10.
If you want to, just for the sake of this demonstration, it would probably give you a little bit more wiggle room.
Okay.
So scroll down a little bit.
Okay.
Additional features. No, we don't need any of that stuff. DDoS protection is very handy if you have a pool. If you have a pool, unfortunately, TurtleCoin, my God, we've been on the receiving end of some of the biggest DDoSes. We've had providers tell pool operators, sorry, buddy, you're out of here.
Oh, man.
So you don't have SSH keys or anything like that you're working with, do you?
No.
All right, cool. Scroll down. server host name on the left, we're going to call it Seth0 or whatever you want to call it. Just something distinctive. It doesn't really matter. You just need to be able to tell them both apart. Some people use Greek mythology. Whatever.
Guys, now you got me typing it in. Uh-oh. It could be bad. Okay.
Okay, and then click Deploy Now. And we're going to go through the same process, but with a different host name for the New York region or for something on the East Coast.
I was really hoping there'd be like an easy duplicate button and you just have some changes, but I guess it doesn't matter.
That's pretty fast. You got to choose a different region.
Yeah, I think I started in New York. Was the last one, right?
Started in Seattle.
Oh, he started in Seattle.
Yeah.
God, jeez, thanks. Yeah.
Oh, I've done that so many times. I love that they offer OpenBSD. That's one of my favorites.
Nice.
Yeah. Can't make any guarantees that TurtleCoin will compile on there, but if you're using OpenBSD already, then you you probably know better than I do how to get it going.
Okay, so server size the same, no other features.
Yeah, just add the name and. So here's the easiest way to do this. So I've noticed that whenever I compile on my local system and then send the compiled binary over to the seed nodes, I don't always have a good time because the seed nodes might need what's called static or dynamic libraries depending on which one I compiled wrong the first time. So let's just go ahead and grab those IP addresses. You'll need that first IP address, 144.202.8064.
Okay.
Oh, also, feel free to let your community host their own seed nodes and add them to the software. It decentralizes your network, and there's not really a whole lot of risk in it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, if only somebody were willing to set one up in the UK. Oh, hey, Roy, that's a great suggestion in the comments there.
Yeah. So, and also, if you have a long block time like you guys have, you can spread out those seed nodes because the block propagation time is not much of a factor. So just grab that first IP and let's put it in the fourth tab.
Got it.
Fourth tab.
Fourth, yeah, I was fourth over.
All right, put it in seed nodes right there. And do you have like a specific port number that you want to use, a system or something? Because it'll just generate a random one if you click add seed node.
I'm okay with generating a random one. There's not one that I'm like married to.
That's fine. As long as you just don't pick a port that's in the first 1024 ports, you should be fine as far as conflicts. So 396999 or 699 is your it's going to be your port. So let's go to the other the Vultr tab and grab the other IP address, put that one in there, and it'll assign the same port to it also. You could technically do this with just one seed and putting in two different ports, but that's pretty risky. So let's review everything. You need to put a name in there. Let's put Canary Coin in the top.
Okay.
What this does is it's going to generate just a really easy boilerplate set of settings for you to go to and copy and paste them into this CryptoNote config.
Nice. Genesis Coinbase transaction hex.
It'll generate that. You don't have to worry about it.
Got it.
Click View Config.
Okay.
Okay, so go to View as JSON. There you are. So
beautiful.
You can copy that into a text editor or just keep this open. But what we're going to do is we're going to grab the seed nodes. We're going to grab the emission speed factor, and it automatically calculates how long we got to let those blocks mature. So it'll have just about everything in there. So basically what we're doing is making a mishmash of several different tools and utilities. So we've got the ForkNote page, we've got the CryptoNote starter page, and also the TurtleCoin wiki, and we make it all work. Don't worry about it. So let's go back to your GitHub editor.
Okay.
If you want, you can even put your put that tab on the yeah, this will work.
Yeah, I mean it's not bad. Got a ton of stuff going on. Oh,
okay.
Man, I've got the old man text going on here. I don't think it needs to be that big.
Control minus.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, so it looks like we've got the public address over there. Let's look for the Mind Money Unlock window. What does it have on the left side?
So Mind Money Unlock window in the JSON file?
Yeah, we're going to look for how long it's trying to mature these blocks. Six blocks.
I was talking about like, yeah, I'll make the text smaller. Now I'm like squinting. Jeez.
It's okay. I'll help you out. I got a really big projector over here. So on the right-hand side, substitute line 24, the value 40.
Yeah.
That value 40. Change that to 6.
06 or just 6?
Just 6.
Okay.
Okay, and we can scroll down a little bit. And your money supply, you see that unsigned integer 64. So we're going to grab what's inside of those parentheses there. For Turtle Coin, it's 10 trillion units on line 32.
Got it.
All right, backspace.
Okay.
Your money supply is on line 10 of the editor on the left.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so paste that in.
Okay. Tree fitty, folks. Tree fitty.
And so the next one that we're getting to on line 33 is the Zowie difficulty block index. What is that? Okay, so what happened is back in the day, we go ahead and sit on Pappy Rock's knee. Back in the day, we had some issues with mining. And so if you set up the difficulty algorithm wrong on your coin, you're going to put yourself open to what's called pulse mining. So somebody with a large amount of hash power will probably create a large order of hash power and rent a bunch of mining rigs and point them at your coin. And they'll momentarily take advantage of the small amount of hash power in your network, and they'll push out blocks ahead of schedule. So what determines when those blocks come out is that target time, which affects the difficulty, which affects the possibility that somebody could hit a block in a certain amount of time. So sometimes it happens in just a few seconds on Turtle Coin. Sometimes it happens in a minute. The only thing that fixes that is whenever you have a lot more hash power on your network mining. So the game that they're playing is they hop on the network, take advantage of squeezing out a bunch of really quick blocks, which really wreaks havoc on the network. Mm-hmm. Then as soon as the difficulty catches up with them, they leave and pivot to another network, and then it's cyclical. So as soon as they leave, now you have a vacuum of hash power, and the difficulty algorithm is going to be supplying some really difficult blocks to break. And so your target time might lengthen quite a bit whenever this happens. So as a response to this, we added several different versions of the Zowie difficulty algorithm, which you can actually check out. His username on GitHub is github.com/ZAWY12, I believe. This guy does really great work, really open with his research. I highly suggest talking to him. Really smart guy. So that being said, ours was 187,000. We were killing the cloud miners, 187. So you're going to change yours to 0.
Okay. Oh, I'm getting a pushback from Roy in the comments about that the unlock window, Mind Money unlock window. He's saying 10 is better, cause less.
Sure, if you want to.
Okay. To me, it makes sense because you guys were at 40, but.
Yeah, what that amounts to on our side for 40 is 20 minutes. And then so on your side, 10 times 3, that's 35 minutes. That's fine. All that means is basically whenever somebody sends you money, how many blocks do we want to wait until those funds are in the unlocked state? So whenever you check your balance in your wallet, it's going to say unlocked or locked. Let's scroll down. Let's turn that 187,000 on 33. On line 33, let's turn it to 0. It might be 0 or 1, but 0 is fine for now. So Zowie difficulty block version, we can do that 1.
Okay, for V2?
35? No, on line 35.
35, okay. Oh, geez.
So we have a concept of block versions. So since you're not Turtle Coin and you don't have to jump through all these forks sequentially, you could just do them right away. So LWMA2 is the evolution of the Zowie difficulty algorithm. So that 620,000, you can turn that to 2. And then the next one can be 3. That's one that we're not even using yet, but yeah, we're ready to go. So difficulty window, V3, you can just leave that. And then the emission speed factor, line 43, is something that we're going to grab from the left side. That one is line 7. Line 7, it says the value is 20.
Got it.
So TurtleCoin has 25, which just means that we're emitting blocks a little bit slower. We want it to be around. What line 44 right there, that static assert, is telling you is that if the value is not 9, we don't have problems. So just don't try to make it to where your coins spit out all immediately because for whatever reason, it just doesn't work. I'm not sure. The math breaks down somewhere and you start dividing by 0 and all hell breaks loose. So the Genesis block reward there, since we have no premine, that's going to be 0. And there's instructions beneath that in a comment.
But we are doing a premine, guys. Doing 3.5%, 350. And
okay.
We're hanging on to the premiine as the develop the bounty, guys, for ProgPower integration. Remember.
Okay, great. Let's calculate the 3.5% of your atomic units. Let's go to the 4th tab.
Oh, there's something that's easy?
Yeah. All right. Get out of that one. Close. All right. Percent of pre-mined coins.
Okay. Oh, nice. Ha!
Oh, let's do 4%. I think it needs a whole number.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, tried to make it tree fitty for you. But how about that? Tree fitty is the developer reward bounty that I'm throwing out there, guys, for ProgPower integration. So come at me. And then hang on to that last 0.5% for. I don't think we're going to be doing an airdrop, guys. I don't think we're going to be doing a faucet, but it will be for developer or community rewards of some sort. Stay tuned.
Cool. All right. So there's the amount of atomic units. Go ahead and remove the commas from that and put that in your Genesis block reward box.
Okay.
So copy that number and remove the commas.
Okay. And Genesis block reward, I'll just put it up here and I'll edit it up here.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, it's starting to look like Zimbabwe dollars.
Right. I better do that one more time because I think
just in case.
Yeah.
Because around, zero error on this one could be 40%. You could end up like Electronium.
Dude.
Don't they have like a 60% pre-mine? I think 60% for the mining game.
Probably. Yeah, I think. Yeah, that sounds like Electronium.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there we go. So Genesis block reward.
Yeah, so take that 0 out of there and paste in your number with no commas. Has to be a whole number. Whenever you see uint like that, UINT, it's looking for a whole number.
Okay.
So scroll down, and you see that Genesis Coinbase TX hex.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and remove that. Okay, and we can paste in line 33 from the left.
I don't know why the editor won't let me scroll side to side.
It will. You have to scroll down the entire window. Move your mouse to the left of the container that you're in.
Yeah.
And move your mouse.
Yeah, what I'm just going to do is...
There you go. That'll work. So the way that the page is set up is that there's 2 different containers. There's the container for the entire page, and then there's the container for the editor that you're in. There's a side-to-side scroller at the bottom. I use a plugin that makes the editing window responsive. I don't know why they haven't done that yet. But
fair question.
Grab line 33, the value from line 33, Genesis Coinbase TX. Oh, wait, actually, you know what? We're going to have to regenerate that because we didn't put the premine. Let's go to number 4.
Okay.
Okay, so click View Config at the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, actually, we need to remove that Genesis Coinbase TX hex. Remove all of that. Yes.
Yeah, it's going to regenerate.
Yep. Click View Config. Boom. All right, so you can actually just copy it from this window, and then we'll just disregard it on the left. Okay, so grab that, and then yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, there, so I've got it.
Okay, and then put that in your Genesis Coinbase TX hex.
Nice.
Big old long string. Okay, so I don't think we have to worry about too much of those except for line 78. So the fee. Let's talk about the fee. So there's never a free lunch in this transactional blockchain game. If you know anything about game theory, this will serve you well. If you don't know about game theory, you might learn the hard way. So this is all juggling a bunch of variables. So we're juggling how much do we want somebody to have to pay per transaction to where it doesn't give them incentive to spam the network and to where it also makes it usable. So Turtle Coin has a very low fee. It's 0.1 turtle. That converts to 10 atomic units there. That's a very low amount. But for example, on Athena, which is forked from Turtle Coin, it has a very, very, very high. Like, we don't want you creating transactions on Athena. It's a settlement layer for multiple chains to conjoin. So we have the fee set to about 1/3 of the block reward. So you can't just spam, because it only produces a block when there's 2 transactions waiting in the queue. We don't want miners to be able to spam transactions just so that they can mine empty blocks just for the sake of mining. So what number are you satisfied with that's a good amount of, let's call it Seth, to send somebody?
Why don't we go with 35 atomic units, guys? Because that's as close as we can get to 350 while still working in atomic units.
That'll work. You can actually just put 350 there, and that'll be a decent amount because your people are going to be pulling in a decent amount per block reward. 350.
Yeah, that makes sense because it is a uint. It's a
exactly.
Yes.
Okay, so minimum mix-in. So what this has to do with is inherently baked in Turtle Coin is a privacy feature and has a big fancy name called Borromean ring signatures. This is very similar to the way that Monero works, the way Bytecoin works, and the way ANON works, with a few subtle differences. They use something called ring CT. So what this means is, how many other bundles of money are we going to mix with your transaction every time we send it? So the bare minimum for this is 3. So since we can, let's just do the bare minimum right now so that we cause as little trouble as possible. On a bigger network, it's easier to just do, like a larger number because you have more people to mix with. But for now, we don't have a whole lot. So line 80, we change minimum mix-in to 3.
Okay.
We change line 81's value to 3 because we don't want people specifying a mix-in. We had problems where as soon as the mix-in conversation came up, people would be like, oh, well, I only use mix-in 108. Well, great. You've just identified every single one of your transactions and when they happened. So we try not to do that. So we just force everybody to use the same mix-in. So for lines 82 and 83, we'll also use 3.
Okay. And for everybody watching at home, in your mind, you can imagine this as 350.
So lines 85 and 86 are when we enacted those. So if you're wondering what these numbers correspond to, like 44 or 440,000, 620,000, this corresponds to what's called block height. And so what height is just an index number. It means this is the 100,000 block that has happened in the series. So we're going to change that to 1 and change the next one to 1, because whenever we're modifying Turtle Coin and we're updating things as we go, there are some changes that are going to change the way the entire network comes into agreement with each other as far as what happened on the blockchain. So in order for everybody to be in agreement and to not fragment the chain, we set these fork heights so that everybody can be updated by this time. And by the time we reach this height, then most of the network is going to be running the software containing the instructions that says, okay, at this height, we're going to change it to 58 decimal places or whatever you want to do. So I don't even think you could do 58. But
so Sage just says, great job, Dad.
Thank you. That's my son. That's my son. But anyway, so default dust threshold and default threshold V2. What this has to do with, at what point do we want to just call these things penny shavings and refuse to move them across the network? We're going to be really brave and change number 90. We're going to change that to 0 so that no matter what, well, let's just mix everything. And
so Canary Coin can be dusted to the atomic unit.
Yeah, if you want to.
Oh,
this way,
snap.
It enables you to be able to send your entire wallet balance out of your wallet without issue.
That is cool, and because I do want this to be used for transactions, that makes sense to me. It makes perfect sense. So hey guys, dust your Canary Coins.
All right, so number 94 is one of those fork heights that's basically adjusting the dust threshold for fusion transactions. So what a fusion transaction is whenever we try to perform this mixing process, it's grabbing, like, let's say a $20 bill, a few nickels, and a dime out of your pocket if you're sending $20.35. So it's going to find 2 other people in this case, that also have that exact same denomination. So it's going to say, hey, who has I need 3 people with 20s and a couple of nickels and some dimes, and it's going to do the little find the red queen game and shuffle them around real quick in the transaction pool. And then whenever it pops out into a block, the money returns to the people who were part of the mixing, and then the money from the guy that meant to send the money goes from A to B. Boy, that's a mouthful. So what line 94 needs to be a 0? Because this just means at what point are we going to allow fusion transactions with dust in them? So in TurtleCoin, that doesn't happen until block height 800,000, which we do about 1 million blocks a year. So let's go down a little bit. Let's see, difficulty window, that doesn't really have to change too much. Let's see, max block size initial is fine. We can keep going down. And upgrade height, V4, so line 127. So what this is this affects your hashing algorithm. So CN light variant 1. So what happened here, let me give you a little bit of the history behind it. Initially, we used just the bare bones kryptonite hashing algorithm. So this has nothing to do with the previous algorithm we spoke about, the difficulty algorithm. The difficulty algorithm is about how you respond to hash rate. The hashing algorithm has to do with how you create that hash rate. So it's the calculations that we're doing to create these magical block guesses that unlock a block sometimes. So we originally had just the regular CryptoNote algorithm, and we always said that whenever ASICs come out, we're going to pivot to something else because we just have a firm commitment to creating an equal terrain as much as possible for people. And if we're going to have ASIC, they need to have less of an advantage than they currently do with, like, Bitcoin, for example. So that change there was where we changed to the CryptoNote Lite Variant 1 algorithm, which the biggest difference is people notice that if you were mining at 10 kilohashes before, you're now mining at like 20 or 21 kilohashes. So that's the only significant difference. It's safe to change that to 1 for 350,000 because that was the block height where we changed that.
Okay.
So this is going to make you in line with TurtleCoin, Work Tips, ANON, and a few other ones that are using CN Lite Variant 1. So different people are going to have different opinions on that. So next, we're going to look at line 135, those block heights where we're going to have hard forks. So hard forks sound big and scary, and in the Bitcoin world, usually it has a different connotation than it does for us. But for us, it's synonymous with upgrade. So think of it as upgrade. So at those heights are when we're going to put down things that affect the consensus of the network. So whenever the entire network comes to agreement. So ours, we do a quick math, okay? We have 30-second blocks, and there's a certain amount of minutes per day, and we know that we're supposed to do roughly 2 blocks per minute. and we just do that quick math and see about how often do we want to have these upgrades. And for us, it's fairly often. For you, how often do you want to do it? Like every 3 months or?
Yeah, I mean, gosh. Hey, community, let's talk. Be vocal here in the comments.
For example, Monero does every 6 months. I think TurtleCoin is quarterly, it looks like.
Gosh. Yeah, I think probably stick with quarterly. It does make sense. We want to be ahead of what Monero is doing. Certainly they're showing some leadership there, but be a little farther ahead, a little more proactive.
Sounds good. So how many, at 3.5 minutes, how many blocks are we producing per day?
Three and a half minutes. You got to do the math on it, yeah? Actually bust out a calculator, right?
Sure.
Come here, calculator. Boom. 4 hours. 60 minutes. Is our pool divided by 250
times 90
times that. Wait. Okay.
Because 90 days and a quarter.
Oh, right. Okay, so that's the number of blocks.
So 37,028 is going to be your first fork height. No,
right. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I gotta remember the syntax here.
Yeah. So we can remove those other fork heights if you like, or just always make sure that the last one in the sequence has no comma after it. So let's just set up the first 4, and then after the first year, you can re-examine. So we can remove a couple of lines there plus that last comma. Good job. All right, so type in 37028 times 2 in the calculator.
Yeah. Okay. Gosh darn it. I should probably pay attention to what it actually said.
056.
Oh, geez.
Okay. And then, add it to it again. Plus 37028. Okay, and so your next one is going to be 111085. 111085.
Add 1.
There you go.
Plus 7. 2.
And so what this is affecting is we have a monitor at the bottom of our daemon. Whenever you run the daemon, the bottom line, if you click or if you type in status and hit enter, it's going to tell you how synced you are with the network and how long until your next fork, and if your daemon is out of date on the current fork. So this sets us up for the next year. We're fine with that. Okay, so this next part gets a little bit...
Lokar's giving some pushback saying that a quarter is like 91 days. Well, Lokar, if I just pop this up to by 400 each day, would that make you happy?
That's fine. And if you listen to the Lokars in your network, you're gonna have a rough time. So just it doesn't really matter. Just pick a date and then.
Sure.
So the index and the fork heights array that this version of the software will support. For example, if current fork index is 3, this version of the software will support fork at 600,000 blocks. So I think yours needs to be 001. I think. I could be wrong. It might explode. So line 152, okay. 0.
And 0, then 1?
I think that's what's called a ternary operator. I don't know. Somebody might be able to correct me on that. That's a better programmer. So let's look at lines 158 through 162. So here we can make them like a cool little names if you want to. Blocks.bin isn't very descriptive. Let's call them canaryblocks.bin. And so what this is affecting is the files that are inside of your little blockchain folder. So whenever you start syncing a chain, it's going to create a folder, a hidden folder in the user directory, and it's going to contain a list of all the people that your daemon likes to talk to, and it's also going to create a list of all the blocks that it has on its local little blockchain record. So you can give it cool names if you want to. It doesn't really matter. It'll do things yourself. And so you want to change line 165 to whatever your coin name is. A lot of people think that changing this line alone changes the name of the binary that comes out after this is generated, and that's not true. Remind me, we need to modify a file called cmake lists after this. So we can scroll down a little bit, and you're going to need to change lines 181 and 182.
181 and 182. Okay.
Yeah, these are the ports. So let's go to the file on the left. Your P2P default port on line 28 is 39699. That's going to go on line 181.
699?
Yep, 39699.
Okay, and what? Oh, got it. Okay, so that's lines 4 and 5 in JSON? Got it.
No, lines 28 and 29. So we're looking for P2P default port and RPC default port.
Yep. Thank you. Okay.
All right. And so RPC default port goes on line 182.
Okay.
And so what these ports mean is the first one is what port do these guys use to talk to each other? And line 2 is what port do we use to set up things like services and that type of stuff? So, a wallet would talk to 39,700, that type of thing. So line 187 right there, this is a completely bullshit arbitrary modification that works out in my favor. I actually changed that 32 to 64. I've seen some people change it to 128, but 64 works for me.
Okay. Okay.
What this is affecting is the write buffer for your P2P traffic.
Okay.
The size of the chunks that we're moving. We're not on DSL anymore, and we're not on really junky computers anymore, so we can pull up our big boy pants and 64 megabytes.
Oh, snap. There it is.
There you go. All right, so I think after that, we're good. If you want to put in, if you're not new to this, on line 197, you can put your trusted public key for like a PGP key, something like that, so that you can authenticate with something called connectivity tool. So a little bit of the history behind this, we inherited this software from our mysterious Bytecoin creators, the Cryptonote crew. There was originally something that was called Connectivity Tool, which was kind of like an admin dashboard for coin creators to look at the overall health of the network. I'm not sure what the aim of it was, but it shows you basically the stuff that we see on block explorers these days. So we just removed it. We don't really need it. So the lines between 199 and 202 right there, this is the DNA of your network. It's basically, think of it like the social security number of your network. So right now, this is the TurtleCoin network ID. And so what this means is if you compiled your stuff as it is now, it would try to connect to our network, and we would start seeing errors from your software popping up in our daemons. So you can change one of those hex characters, and it'll sufficiently differentiate you from us, as long as you don't change the 0x part. So that first little bit right there, 0xb5, you can change that to 0xb6, and you're in the clear. But some people like to, you remember how we were doing the conversion earlier, integers to hex characters?
Yeah.
You could put like Seth in there, Seth Canary, whatever fits those many characters if you wanted to. Just make sure you use that 0x prepend and put it in there. Or you could just change one character if that type of like mythology and mysticism doesn't really mean anything.
Okay, so we've actually got enough characters here with the available hex values there. We've got enough characters there to put Seth's Canary coin. I'm thinking I want to.
Do it. Let's do the hexadecimal converter. I'm going to go throw some treats to this cat that's in heat in my bedroom locked. So give me a second.
Is that a metaphor?
No, it's my actual cat. She's a nightmare right now. She's in heat. So let me throw some treats and she'll get all knocked out on catnip. 1 second.
Looks like that's not working.
Yeah, I'm back. Are you done yet?
Nope. Right.
All right, so the you can change. So hexadecimal.
Oh man, I was gonna go with the
You can do ASCII to hex if you want.
So I was thinking it might be easier.
Swap, click swap.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. You need to take the spaces out.
Oh! Okay, here we go.
Okay, and so now you have all your different little bits there. And what we're going to do is you're going to transpose those values, 0x, 0x comma, well, no, 0 lowercase x.
Yeah.
There's not much room for artistic license whenever it comes to data types.
Got it. Can I, there we go. No.
Okay, do comma space 0x. Boom. There you go. So the first one you'll have to convert yourself, but
okay.
You know how to do that. Did you double check the amount of characters?
I'm going to double check it now. What I'm going to do is actually duplicate this line.
You're short one character.
No!
Wait, hang on. Oh, no, you got it right, I think.
Okay.
Maybe.
I thought I did. Let me just double check here. And that's fine. I'll add another one if I need to, or I'll just duplicate one from there. But...
Or you could do Seth Canary Coin or Seth's Canary Coins.
No! Okay, yeah.
Yeah, do Canary Coins. So 0x53 at the end.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So as I said before, you remember how I said it would be great if you could have community members also setting up their seed nodes. It used to be that I operated like all 8 seed nodes myself. You just want to make sure that these seed nodes have a decent amount of data available, meaning that you don't have like data limits and that type of thing. So let's go ahead and copy and paste your seed nodes from lines 4 and 5 on the left-hand side.
Okay.
And it always helps to comment those lines to tell you who owns what, because whenever they go down, you need to know who to scream at.
Yeah.
I got to be honest, though. My seed nodes are the only ones that go down.
Oh, crud. How am I commenting here?
No, you do. You just, no asterisk, just the 2 slashes. And then type whatever you want. All right, there you go. I have to be honest, I haven't slept right since December 9th, 2017, so be prepared. You've got a lot of coffee and heartbreak in your future.
Oh, jeez. Well, it didn't take long. Yeah.
Yeah. So under commit changes, you can type something in that first box to title this commit if you like.
Okay.
Put whatever you like in there. There you go. And then that second box is just some notes for the next person that comes along. It's not as important. Sometimes I put stuff in there to just commemorate things. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Are you kidding? You're the one letting us borrow more of the sleep that you're surely not going to get tonight. So thank you.
Well, we're always happy to help people. We actually have a channel called Dev Learning in our channel in the developer section in chat.turtlecoin.lol. There you go. Imperdin.
It's official for 1 week.
You got to do the Italian fingers whenever you say it. Imperdin.
Imperdin. Yeah.
Mamma
Nice.
mia. All right, so hit commit changes.
Living dangerously. Could have been committing directly to the development branch.
Woo! We got it. All right, so do you see where it says TurtleCoin source CryptoNote config H at the top?
No. Can you call it a line?
Okay, so move your mouse up. It's not an actual line. There you go. Click source.
Got it.
We are looking for a file called cmakelists.txt.
Yes, totally. So, hey, RockSteady, we're looking for a file called cmakelists.txt. There you go. I reminded you.
There you go. So what this does is this actually changes the, click that pencil icon in the upper right. I want to draw some attention to that. So clicking the pencil icon, you can even come to the, if you spot like a spelling error or something like that in the TurtleCoin repository, go there and just click the pencil. And what it's going to do is it's going to automatically clone the repo to your account. And then it'll let you create a pull request. And this is how you become a contributor or developer to TurtleCoin development, by submitting pull requests and getting them merged in. So in the beginning, and I hate to detract too much, so I'll make this brief, but in the beginning, what we did was we set up a bounty of 100 turtle for anybody that could find any spelling mistakes in any of our software. And I'm not too bad at spelling, but I wanted to get people more acquainted with looking through the code to look for these spelling mistakes. And of course, a lot of people did. And like clockwork, these people started to realize, hey, these are just regular English words, and I shouldn't be afraid of this code. And slowly, these people started jumping in and modifying things in the code. And we've turned so many people just from regular bystanders into developers this way. And so don't be afraid of this. Definitely look through the code, and don't be afraid to modify something and see how it works, because that's the way a lot of us learned. So, Seth, if you don't mind, scroll all the way to the bottom.
Sure. I'm already seeing things that I want to change. Jumping way in.
We're looking for, there you go, target TurtleCoin D. Property output name is going to be Canary Coin D if you want. The D signifies that it's a service daemon. So people that aren't very familiar with Linux or even Apple might not understand what a service daemon is. So a service daemon is a piece of software that runs typically in the background unseen. It's something that's not meant to be messed with. So the D signifies that it's just up and running. So if you wanted to run Canary Coin D in the background, you could tell system D to start it up. That type of thing. You can hook it up to NTP-D to make sure your time is always in sync. So Z Wallet is the name of our command line wallet. We've done an article about it if you're curious about the parameters in that and how that came about, but it's a replacement for Simple Wallet. So let's change line 121 on the right-hand side to, what do you want to call it? Canary Wallet or Shell or something Canary, I don't know. We actually have a wallet called Nest, which is pretty cool. I don't know. It's a GUI wallet. If you wanted to fork that, you could too.
Yeah, I'm going to take a liberty here and call it Seth Wallet.
That's cool, man. So service. What service does is it's the old wallet D. So what a lot of people that are already familiar with this or running a pool or downloading the software might notice is wallet D is something that's always in there, but it's not a wallet that you should be using. So in order to kind of thwart that confusion, we were having a lot of people that were like, well, I don't know what a Z wallet is, but I see this walleted thing. Let me just go ahead and click this. And they run it, and then a blank command window opens up, and they're like, my wallet doesn't work. And they walk into the chat with their hands on their hips, and then we have to ban them. So the thing that we do is we named it to service because only pools need to really use this. Pools, explorers, people like, or well, not even explorers, pools, web wallets, that type of thing. People that are managing wallets in an automated way. So we just named it to service. We figured, it's like a kitty in a litter box. We can put the litter box under the table and the cat still knows what the litter box is for. So pool wallet is going to go away soon. You could actually name that Don't Run This if you want. It's the old Simple Wallet. Simple Wallet was something that we used back in the day. We inherited it from the Bitcoin overlords, and we just ran into a lot of problems. It uses a different wallet container format. So Z Wallet uses the Wallet D container format, which is a lot more robust, and it's just a lot better. So Miner is the name of your solo miner. This is going to be for your CPU miners. I normally name it Solo Miner just to drive it home that you're not going to be connecting this to a pool or something like that. Lonely Miner. There you go. So I know that you saw the word turtle coin D up at the top, but that's actually a linker to line 120. So we're going to leave that by itself. And then we can just put a line in the commit field and then hit save on this one. And I think the next thing we have is the Z wallet config.
So help me understand just really briefly, and I apologize for being just a little bit slow. My first time forking turtle coins. So again, at this point, I am not making any other changes to anything else at this point.
Nope.
Because these are all dependencies. This is all pointing to other directories.
Yes. And they're referencing directory names and things like that.
Got it. Okay.
So you could if you really just wanted to do a complete clone job, you could do the Control F replace. But the thing that you run into is the license issue. You end up obliterating the turtle coin licenses, which isn't really fair to those that put in a lot of work.
Sure. No, that makes sense. Okay, so
while you're doing that, happy birthday, Alien. I promised I would shout you out. And also Turkey, Gobble and Bunny and everybody out there. And also Seijo. That's actually my son in the chat. Seijo8 the gamer.
Nice.
He's 12.
Oh, wow.
All right, you can click commit changes if you like. There you go. Do not mess up, please. I tell myself, seriously, I tell myself that every time I do a pull request. People ask me a lot. They're like, wow, Rock, you sure don't do a lot of coding. I'm like, yeah, man, that's to save you guys. They're like, well, why don't you really code anymore? We've got 12,000 people in the chat, and a lot of them, I'd say the majority of them are more competent programmers than I am. So the early days, sure, I turned in a lot of code, but that code has been ratified and fixed so many times since then because there were just so many errors. So I'm kind of like the guy that does a lot of the pointing and separating people whenever they fight and that type of stuff, and it just kind of works out better that way. So to just clear up that misconception, I am not the head dev. So if you guys are out there wondering dang, I guess I have to be a really good programmer to do this, you really don't. I've just been working with this same code base pretty much since it came on the scene. So
nice.
I think let's go back to the third tab, forking turtle coin, and I think we're going to be in the Z wallet portion. So you can scroll down quite a bit, actually. Let's see. Keep going.
No. Really
there you go, wallet config.h.
Okay.
All right, scroll up.
Okay.
All right, wallet config.h. So we need to go to source/zwallet/wallet config.h. One thing that you'll notice is everything in this game is case sensitive.
Okay.
Okay, so wallet config.h. So we're in here. This is actually a written from scratch wallet that was written by the guy that wrote that wiki entry, actually. A lot of people think that my article that I wrote about forking Athena was actually the forking guide. It's not. It's me following the wiki that Zpalmtree, the guy that wrote this Z wallet. It's called Z wallet because I guess in where he's from, that's what they call Z. But that's his name. So he wrote this from scratch. It's very extensible. So the prefix for your coins starts with Seth. So that TRTL is going to be Seth.
Okay.
Line 13 and 16, those are both Seth. And was it uppercase the whole way whenever we did that?
I thought so. Yeah. I mean, that was.
Yeah, just making sure.
Yeah, pretty sure it was.
Cool. So transactions.csv, you don't have to change that, but you can give it a cute name if you want to.
Yeah. I was going to replace it, but that's not good.
That's cool.
You could, but that'll cause problems.
All right. So the file name to read, write, the address book to consider starting with a leading dot. We don't have to really mess with that one. The name of your daemon, that we do have to change. Turtle coin D. Let's change that to what do we do? Canary coin?
Mm-hmm. And it is case. Yeah, there was that's case sensitive. Uppercase C's.
Okay. Are you wearing glasses?
Yes, I am.
I think it's funny how we both started out the interview with no glasses, and now we're both pressed up against the screen squinting.
Right.
Cool. So Zed Wallet is, we got to change that to whatever we change that name to, and make sure that it's case sensitive.
Uh-oh, guys, what did I change Zed Wallet to?
Well, you can middle click the source link up at the top.
Right,
middle
new tab.
click. Yeah, new tab.
And then in CMake lists, that's not where I changed it, right?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Is it? Okay, great. Right.
See, you're already getting it, man. It's super simple. Scroll all the way down.
Seth Wallet.
Seth Wallet. So we can just copy paste them directly out of there with the uppercase S, uppercase W.
Oh yeah, copy pasta for the win.
Okay.
It's not pretty, guys. All I'm going to say is from personal experience, C's get degrees and copy pasta gets code done.
C's get degrees. I wish I would have known that before I dropped out of college and high school.
Yeah, see, I just kept on plowing along because I was like, no, this will be over eventually. I should keep banging my head against this wall.
You know, at one point I thought I was going to be a doctor, and then later on I figured there was no end in sight, so might as well go now. But
seriously, I think that was wisdom. I'm not going to pretend. So, funny story. Upon graduating, I got an internship in Hollywood. And it was like, all right, I've arrived. Like I was just getting ready to walk at the university. Seriously, every single person I mentioned that, they stared at me like, are you like, boy, you could be legally retarded. Like something's wrong with you.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, thanks, guys.
I'm sorry that happened.
Yeah, nobody at this place has a degree. Like, all right, my entire life has been a lie.
Well, it's all right, man. You know, without the bad times, the good times aren't so good. So line 38, have you set up a domain or a Discord chat or anything like that?
A Discord chat, yes.
Okay, so go ahead and paste in your Discord for your Canary coin in there, and then I think that fills in the help link or this like little status message or whatever in Zed Wallet.
Actually, give me just a second. I've got something that might be...
We linked ours to just a subdomain, and we figure it out with DNS. That way, whenever the invite expires, we can just figure it out.
Nice. That's awesome. Give me just a second here. I've got something. Hey guys, this isn't live yet. I'm not going to pretend like it is. All right. Dun, dun, dun.
That works. So, since you didn't change, let's look at line 47.
Okay.
Since you did not change, this only has to change if, let's say, you go from TRTL to like TRT. Something. Well, that's for example. We're not switching from turtle to steroids. We're going from TRTL from 4 characters to 3 characters, and so that changes the length of the overall address. So 99 would be 100 if you did 5 characters. For example, Athena is 6 characters, so that's 101. So you gotta change that if you change the length of your address, but we didn't, so we don't have to worry about it. Scroll down a little bit, and we'll set the default fee. The minimum amount allowed to be. Actually, we don't even have to change that. That's defined. Okay, so here's what's going on there. Where it says minimum fee, and you see CryptoNote parameters minimum fee. That's basically linking it to the values that we set in source CryptoNote config. That might be, but you don't have to worry about changing that. If you did, it would be fine. It would just ignore what's in the config. So we'll go to line 63, and the minimum amount of atomic units you can send. What do you want to make yours? 1?
Yeah, sure.
All right, sure. 1's fine. All right, and mix-in 0 is disabled, so true. They won't even be presented with that option. And go ahead and set a commit message. And I think we might have what we need here to go ahead and start compiling. You know that some guys in our chat have got so good at this, they can spin out a shit coin in 5 minutes flat.
I believe it. No, I believe it. You could probably set up a couple of scripts for this.
Yeah. There's actually since we have Turtle Coin, somebody created a clone of work tips called Monkey Tips. which is kind of cool. So, and the guy actually spun it up in like 5 minutes. You could see the anger forming on his face in their chat. He was like, "All right, fine, I'm out of here." 5 minutes later, Monkey Tips was born.
There we go.
Okay, commit changes. And I think we have just about everything done. Let's switch back to tab 3 and just scroll down a little bit more. Tab 4.
Okay.
Sorry. Let's scroll down a little bit more and see if there's anything that we're forgetting. I think we've got pretty much everything. We can go ahead and compile locally and run it just to make sure that it runs.
Okay.
Oh no, are you on Windows?
I am.
Okay, let's compile them on the seed nodes. This is going to be great. All right, so. All right.
Okay.
It looks like we've got everything. All right, let's grab the address to your click settings up there in the upper right.
Okay, far.
No, to the left.
Okay, you're
right there. So it's still called Turtle Coin at this point. Let's change it to Canary Coin.
A star is born.
Yep, click rename, and then there's a box that says click settings again one more time. There's a box that says issues. Click issues. So we want people to be able to submit, like, hey, I found a problem here, let me submit an issue. We want people to be able to do that. Projects is just kind of like this Trello thing that helps you manage a large amount of people that are helping and track milestones, that type of thing. Wikis is, of course, wikis.
So projects is then, it's like a literal API to tie all this stuff into Trello?
Well, no, it's kind of like its own Trello. I guess I should use the right word. It's a Kanban board type setup, and it meshes with little milestones that you can set up. It's a little bit out of the scope of this, but people who are well versed with GitHub will find it kind of cool if they're managing a large amount of developers. So we've got everything we need to get going here. Let's grab this address, and then we'll fire up PuTTY or something like that and SSH into our first seed node.
Okay, I want to say that I've got PuTTY.
Okay, if you don't, just go to ninite.com/PuTTY, and it'll go ahead and create a Windows downloader that installs PuTTY with no pop-ups, no BS, no nothing like that.
I think I've already got one.
Already got it, cool. Paste in your IP address, your first IP address.
Okay.
All right, no port.
Oh yeah, it's going over there. There is in fact a port option there.
Yeah, the port is port 22, and also remove that last colon. There you go. You can type in a name into saved sessions and hit save if you want. Okay, hit save, and then hit open.
Okay. Service host is now. Let me pull up my app.
Yep, hit yes.
Okay.
And it's going to ask you for login as, do root. And you have 2 monitors, right?
I do.
Okay, so go on your other monitor and copy the password that Vulture probably sent to your email. I use SSH keys, so you don't end up having to have a password exposed or anything like that. It's just like let's call it like a really long key in a file.
Okay.
It's a good idea to use that down the line, but we don't have to worry about it now because, seed nodes are not that important.
Okay. Oh, yeah, cool. Yeah, it sent me a couple of emails.
Okay,
letting me know that it was activated.
Copy your password, and then whenever you go to the PuTTY window, a single right click into the middle of the window won't look like it put your password in there, but it does put in your password. So a single right click into the window and then hit enter. And it's not going to show any asterisks or anything like that, and it's also not going to show your password in plain text. But it will copy. So right click is paste in PuTTY. And to copy, you just drag to copy and then hit enter.
Alrighty, I'm in.
Okay, great.
Should I reveal my window here again?
Sure, if you want to.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so you're going to be in there as the root user right now. This basically means like I am the administrator of this system. It's generally not a good idea to run services as the root user. So let's create a new user called Canary or something like that. So let's do add user as one word, add user space Canary. Okay. So go ahead and type in a password. It's not going to show it on the screen.
Okay. Dash.
The cursor won't move forward, by the way, or it shouldn't. See you later, Seijo. Have fun at Walmart. All right, so you don't need to put anything in here. You can just tap enter and keep going.
Oh, I didn't realize that Sage was like your literal son.
Oh, no, I'm kidding.
Okay. I thought I heard a door open, and yeah, in my mind, it's like Sage literally just left your home. Wow. So, new value to open. Oh my gosh. Okay. Should call it Canary, right?
If you want to. You don't have to actually put anything in there. You can just tap enter until you're done.
Sure. Room number.
Enter.
Yeah.
Enter. Enter. Enter.
Holy cow. Yes.
Yes.
It's good.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do user mod space dash lowercase a uppercase G user mod AG canary sudo space canary. No, space canary space sudo. It might be sudo canary, but we're going to find out if it complains.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, just switch up. Do sudo canary this time.
Okay.
Sorry, I always get that one wrong. Okay, and so what we've done here is we've added canary to the list of users that can use the sudo command, which means, hey, let me go ahead and be the. Let me go ahead.
It temporarily gains root access to run certain things.
Exactly. So we have everything we need to work here. So type in su space canary. This basically means let me be canary real quick. Hit enter. Okay, hit cd space and then the tilde, which is that little wiggly line that means like about this much. It's in the upper left-hand corner. No, that's the back tick. Hold shift and press that same button.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, hit enter. Now this puts you in your home directory. If you type pwd, it'll show you where you are.
Got it. So print working directory.
Exactly. Good job, man. So from here, we're going to do sudo apt get update. Apt-get, sorry.
And that's it?
Sudo apt get update, enter.
Okay.
You need to type sudo.
Oh, hey, yeah, that would help.
All right. And what we're doing here is we're refreshing the list of programs that this server can pull in. And so it's contacting the servers at Ubuntu, and we're going to do sudo apt get install git git. So, okay, you already have git, so you can do git clone and then type in that address that you have there for your https://github.com/savant and then the whole URL. And we're going to grab what's called some dependencies. And what dependencies are is they're helper programs to help us compile.
Okay, so if I wanted to right-click copy in, I just want to go to TurtleCoin. You there?
No, it's actually not called TurtleCoin anymore because we changed it. So you have to go back to Savant and then click on the repo. It's going to be called Canary Coin. Go back.
Or is it?
There you go. Okay, great. So this is the URL. You can copy that whole thing and git clone and then paste. Okay, enter. And what this is doing is it's grabbing a copy. And so we're going to do cd space canary coin, which means change directory. Okay, enter, and then type ls to list all the files. And so in here, we see basically all the different turtle coin files that we need. So from here, we're going to make a directory called build. So mkdir build. And before we move into build, let's go ahead and install some of the dependencies. So if you would, go ahead and type in sudo apt get install space build hyphen essential, like build essential. There you go. Space python hyphen dev. Okay, space GCC, which is the GNU C compiler, space G++, space CMake, space libboost hyphen all hyphen dev, space librocksdb hyphen dev. That's our database. Space libreadline hyphen dev. Now, if you're worried about what does all this mean and you don't know where to find it, if you actually scroll down on that repository for Canary Coin in the README under how to compile, that's what we're following right now for Linux. If you scroll down a little bit.
So it should all be right here.
Right there. We just passed it.
Oh.
Right there. That's the line that I just read off to you.
Nice.
Yep. So go ahead and hit enter, and we'll get all those installed. It only takes a second. You're going to hit yes. So the names of those packages pull in all these extra packages right here. And what all these packages are is they're supplying things like compilers. It's supplying the development libraries for compiling the database, that type of stuff. You only have to compile one time, but the more powerful the computer is that you're doing it on, the easier it's going to be and the less time it's going to take.
Got it.
I'm going to grab a beer out of the fridge while we do this. One second.
So hey guys, thanks for being here while we're doing this live. Appreciate you sharing the link. Appreciate you hitting the like button down below. Appreciate you taking notes actually, because again, the README file it's pretty straight. It looks like it's pretty straightforward, but there are some people that, you know, like myself, I probably wouldn't have done this the first time without a little bit of hand holding, without somebody to do this with.
So I've seen Cash Money. He says compile. What does that even mean? So what compile means is you're basically taking all this source code, like you see all the words and stuff like that on the left, all this source code that we've been modifying, we now feed it to the computer and tell it, okay, turn this into ones and zeros. And what it's going to do is it's going to create like an exe that the computer can then run after that. So if you run Windows, you're normally clicking on an exe. And all that is basically it's taken all these instructions and made them into a way that the computer can take in really fast, and it just feeds the commands straight to the processor. And so the computer speaks ones and zeros, but we speak all these different programming languages. So compiling it into a binary is what we're doing right now.
Spuck is asking how much space you need to compile with all the tools and dependencies and all these packages.
Less than a gigabyte. Less than a gigabyte. Maybe 100 megabytes. It just depends what distribution you're on, and it depends what libraries you already have. If it's on Windows, though, you'll need Visual Studio, and that has a lot of stuff that comes with it. So that's like 18 gigabytes or something if you choose all the options. But if you choose just the bare minimums, it's like 4 gigabytes or something like that. So it's always easier on Linux. So the next thing that we're going to do is go back to your PuTTY terminal there.
Okay.
We're going to do cd, which means change directory, build. Okay, so build is an empty directory. Let's type ls just to be sure. So what we're going to do here is type in cmake space period, And this is going to create basically like a prep file for the compile. So we want to also execute the make command after this. So just do space, ampersand, ampersand, space, make. And what this tells it is if we would have just used one ampersand, it would say, hey, run both these commands as fast as you can. Doesn't matter which one's first. If you do ampersand, ampersand, it says, hey, wait for this first one to finish and then do the next one. So go ahead and hit enter, and it's going to go through the entire, well, actually, how many cores do we have on this? Just one?
I think actually we have 2 on this one. Let me just
Can you double check?
Yeah. Oh, no, 1 core.
1 core, great. We're going to be in for a long ride.
Oh, no.
So go ahead and hit enter on that, and we'll start compiling.
And only period after make? Only after CMake? Okay.
Period tells it move back 1 directory.
Okay.
So the CMake file is going to create a CMake file for everything that's in the canary coin folder, since it's moving back 1 folder. But once we create those prep files for it from that directory behind us, go ahead and use those prep files that's in this directory to make, which is compile. So if we would have had more than 1 processor core, we could have done -J2 or -J8. I see Alexi in the chat is already mentioning that. So go ahead and hit enter because we don't have much time to waste here.
Yeah, precious compiling minutes wasted.
Yep. So here we're looking, you can actually resize it to stretch out if you want, but we're looking for not pink lines, but we're looking for red lines. So red lines usually stop the entire compile. So it's going to go through and you'll see that it kind of jumps around in the percentages a little bit. Part of the install process is compiling TurtleCoin itself, and part of the compile process is compiling RockSDB, which is the database, which we'll be replacing soon. Yeah, that works. So the entire process can take about 10 minutes. I can compile it on a Chromebook in about 15 minutes. On an 8-core processor, it takes probably 3 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah, you're humming along pretty well here. The only drawback to using shared hosting, so what you're doing, you're on Vultr. So Vultr is, think of it as like a data center. There's a bunch of different data centers, but for the sake of simplicity, think of one data center, which is just like a warehouse with a bunch of computers in it. And on one of those computers, there's little virtual computers created inside of it, and that's what we just created whenever we made this machine. So this one's compiling pretty fast, but somebody else might log into their same image on this same computer and monopolize the resources if they start trying to compile also on the same server. So obviously you run into some issues where on some servers it'll be fast and on some servers it'll be slow. Sometimes the compile service starts out really fast and then sometimes it'll slow down. But you just got to kind of be patient and look out for big red lines that stop the entire process. So also you generally just want to limit it to the amount of processor cores, not the amount of processor threads. So if I have a processor that has 8 cores and 16 threads, I'm still going to tell it -J8, because if I delegate it J16, sometimes it can give you an error. It just depends on the way, depends what hardware you're using, and depends how it's provisioned to that virtual machine.
Got it. So definitely you want to use physical cores, not logical cores or
right.
hyperthreading.
In the beginning, which you can do, let's say if we're doing this on, I know I keep coming back to DigitalOcean, but if you're doing this on something like DigitalOcean, you could spin up like an 8-core, or you could probably do this on Vultr too. Spin up an 8-core and then do your compile and then downsize it back down again. So they may offer that capability, but usually that's what I do for the sake of time. But we're making pretty good time here. Let's answer a few questions from the chat or something like that.
Plenty of people have questions, and I think the primary questions are people are trolling. So Cash Money asks, "What is this sorcery?" I think that Rock gave you a pretty straightforward answer as to what the sorcery is. This is compiling. And jumping farther back into the questions or into the comment section. A little bit of praise. Kevin says, most informative stream yet. Sosuke says, most information. This interview is extremely information dense. Not wrong.
Yeah, it definitely takes a little bit of time. Whenever that CryptoNote starter website first showed up years ago, there was imagine how bad the broken English in the instructions are now, and then it was just even worse back then, and there were even less instructions. So it was man, it was tough. It took a while. I lost some hours.
Roy asks, when pools? Well, Roy, I think probably when pools is when we
you can compile that now, or you can not compile, but you can clone that now. Go ahead and go to the github.com/turtlecoin repo. We've got tipping bots, we've got pools, everything there. You can clone it. Everything. It's all for the community. The way we look at it is if enough people put their hands on this software and start using it and modifying it for their own purposes, they'll start contributing back. So you can look through. We've got all kinds of stuff in there. So we've got a one-click miner there. That's a graphical miner.
Nice.
We've got Turtle Pool right there. Turtle Pool is what you use to create a mining pool. Box Turtle is a host your own web wallet that you can host on like a Raspberry Pi at home. That one, we're still working on that one, but the basic functionality is there. Let's see. There's all types of different things. Like if you want to make sure, like TurtleCoin D-HA, all of our exchanges use that because it makes sure that somebody could be there kicking the server hosting your seed node, and as soon as they're done kicking, the seed node comes right back up. And every time the network craps itself, TurtleCoin DHA monitors that. That's actually one of our core developers that created that. I burned my CD, which is one of the smartest individuals I know. Pretty scary dude, but anyway, it's
nice. I've got a couple questions from the comments that are a little bit more focused. So, first question is for you, and what are you replacing RockSDB with?
Okay, so we're substituting it with generic database handlers, which what that means is he's basically asking, okay, so you're taking the V8 out of your F-150, what are you putting in its place? Well, instead of saying, oh, I'm going to put this 351 Cleveland or something like that in there, we're saying, okay, we're going to hook it up to this set of cables here, and whatever engine we want to use at the time, we're going to hook it up to the cables that are hanging off the engine. Whereas the way that we have it right now, RockSDB is like welded into place. So if we had to choose what we'd ideally hook up to that, we were discussing it yesterday, it would be LMDB, which is created by HYC CMS Corp. Very, very good database there. It's kind of reached like as fast as it's going to be. Like they don't even update it anymore, I think, because this is as fast as the physical limits will take you. Monero uses it. A lot of other people use it. Another one is SQLite. SQLite is something that's rather ubiquitous. SQLite is what some people call it. It's on all systems pretty much. It's everywhere. It's very simple. You could set it up. It's pretty foolproof. MySQL is another one because it's very performant. And then also PostgreSQL. Now, a lot of this doesn't really mean anything to normal people, but the trade-offs that we're playing with here are how fast do we want to store the data? How fast do we want to look up the data? And whenever I'm syncing a new chain, how much of my life do I want to sacrifice to watching lines scroll by on the screen?
Speaking of which, let me get some lines scroll by on the screen.
Yeah.
Oh, I was starting to have withdrawal symptoms.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good. I've automated this entire process to create nightly builds. So in your Canary Coin folder, there's a folder called scripts, and you go to scripts, and there's a file called nightly.sh. And on any Linux system, you can go ahead and create a nightly build from whatever the master snapshot is doing. And yes, Cash Money, this is contacting Skynet right now. Cash Money says, is this like updating code to Skynet? It's exactly like Skynet. I say that as I flex my robotic arm, my T1000. Let's see, what other questions do we have?
Somebody else asked about, Sirjan asked if I'm comfortable in creating ProgPal with Go, because apparently already doing some work there.
Golang is great. We've got a guy Rashid, that is one of those guys that started out like, came in the chat and, a little bit of a troublemaker. And then now he's like writing entire crypto libraries over in Golang because we threw him in exile. And I was like, you know what? I'm tired of dealing with this guy. He keeps pinging me, putting him in exile. So I put him in exile. And then so he's down there and he's like, how do I get out? And I was like, fold origami. And so he folded the best damn origami I've ever seen. So we let him out of exile and he was like, Rock, I'm sorry. What do I do next? And I was like, read a book. And he was like, what about after I read the book? What book do I read? And I was like, learn Golang. And then so, and he goes, what's Golang? And I was like, it's a programming language. And then so he ends up reading the book and he goes through it and he learns it. And he goes, which book? And I was like, read this one right here. It's called Introduction to Go. And so he reads the whole thing. And he goes, what do I do now? And I was like, read it twice. So he reads it twice, goes through the whole thing. And he just starts pumping out software. And this isn't the first time this has happened. Oh my God, we have an error. Okay, cannot allocate memory. You've ran into the error where we need a bigger machine. So if you want to, let's just grab a bigger machine and just go for it. Let's go for the prize.
Yeah. What the heck? Yeah. I'll provision a massive machine for a day.
Well, it doesn't even have to be for a day. It'll probably be for about 5 minutes.
Okay. Well, here goes.
Or you could probably downsize it. Basically, what we're trying to do is we're trying to compile the binaries. And once you compile the binaries, you can just transfer those to another server. I'm going to show you how to use this thing called Magic Wormhole. It's super easy. And it just lets you beam things from server to server with like a 3-word code. So let's go to Vultr and then create a big box. And then we'll keep these 2 boxes open. And then once we're done compiling on the big box, we'll just move it over. So pick Los Angeles.
I'm going to say it doesn't matter where we go at this point, right?
Yeah. Los Angeles one might be a little bit slow with smoke damage or something. I don't know.
Let's go to Chicago. Get a pizza. We're going to beef it up. Should we go for gold?
Sure, man. Sure, that's 16 CPUs. That's a wild one.
It's only going to cost us a couple bucks.
Right? I think I hear Tim Allen grunting.
All right, it's all okay.
You want to call it build server or something? Canary Crusher.
Oh, we're ready, guys. Hey, hit the likes for the Canary Crusher. This is fun.
Yeah, everybody definitely subscribe because I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens with Canary Coin. I've already told all the Turtle Coin guys that they better subscribe under penalty of personal harm. So
I was gonna say, watch out! It's origami out in exile for everybody.
There's even a Twitch tip bot that can be cloned. I'm saying this because somebody was asking. Conti Turtle was asking when YouTube tip bot. I think the Twitch tip bot uses IRC as a backend, so you might not be able to modify that, but a YouTube tip bot could be used super easy because you could, Conti is one of our core devs. He's created like 9/5 of the entire Turtle ecosystem. Like he made a graphical wallet. He made Turtle Pixels. I don't know if you've seen Turtle Pixels, but it's a website where there's a 1,000 by 1,000 image. It's trtlpixels.com. Is your box being created right now, by the way?
It is. No, it is being created. What I'm going to do, what I was going to ask is about Putty right now. Just X out. Is that fine? Close the session?
No, just minimize it.
Cool. All right.
Just minimize it. So and then in your title bar, right-click Putty, and then do New Session. No, in your title bar. Or start bar. Yeah, New Session. That'll work. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it should be ready here.
So are you familiar with how to go ahead and hook up to the other one? And we can compile as root on the other one. It's not a big deal.
Okay, cool.
Just grab those prerequisites that are in the middle of your screen, paste that in there as root, clone the repository, and you're off to the races, bro. Let me pop this next beer. I think I had a hole in this other one. I know the turtles are wondering. It's Abita Brewing Hop On Juicy Pale. We could add swap space Reynaldo. I just think that already we're almost kind of out of scope for this this video. I don't want to lead people into deep waters.
So here we are on the Canary Crusher.
Okay, so copy and paste that line to paste in your dependencies.
Okay.
Okay.
You just smash it.
You see that -y in there makes it to where you don't have to hit yes afterwards. So just hit enter.
Nice.
Yep. So straight to work. Wow, I see a lot of people with Ethereum icons in the chat, but I don't see any turtle icons in the chat. I sense a drought coming on with the rain bot.
Ooh.
You keep up that drinking and you'll be out doing those 5. Listen, I'm a high school dropout, okay? 9/5, 5/5. It's all in my head, it's all the same. Numbers. That's why we only have 2. That's why we only have 2 significant digits, or 2 digits after the decimal. You're gonna expect me to do 16 digits to buy coffee? Get out of here.
Ooh, how did this happen? How did I read me?
What happened?
Huh. No, there it is. Okay. I just got visually lost. But here we are, back at a command prompt.
Okay, so do sudo apt-get update. That was because we didn't update the repositories, and the brand new machine is like, I can't find some of these programs. So basically what apt-get is it's a package manager. Windows doesn't have anything like this. I mean, there's something called Chocolatey and something called NuGet, but those aren't like standard. Okay, go ahead and run the install again. Press up 2 times.
Yep, so...
Enter. Okay, so what we're doing here is imagine a big phone book. And this phone book has things like, Build Essential. The server that holds Build Essential is over here, and it's this certain version. So whenever we apt-get update, we're refreshing that phone book. And these servers may have dropped off or changed names or changed versions and things like that since the last time. So what it was alerting us to is, hey, I can't find some of these. So instead of, mess up your day, let's just chill. So it gave you the error. So do git clone https://github.com/savant. I'm really kicking myself for not picking that username.
Yeah, and everyone else is like, "Who the hell's Savant? He's got to be legit." And I'm like, "No."
If somebody hacked me and that was on my wallpaper or something the next day, I would just walk out in traffic at that point, like, well, I've been owned.
Yes, this is it. Okay, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so CD Canary Coin. And we're going to be wild boys here. We're going to put it all on one line. So make dir build ampersand CD $_ space ampersand cmake space ... ampersand. I just like saying it at this point. Make space J16.
Right, you got all those.
Well, you got to do make dash J16. Sorry.
Ooh.
Make space.
Wait, make space. Oh, and dash. Got it.
Yeah, make space dash J16.
Okay.
And the J16 says fire up all 16 cores. You can even run HTOP at the same time and see them all max out. Is great.
Let's do it.
All right, so hit Control C. All right, type in TMUX. Okay. Enter. All right, now press Control B and then Shift and then asterisk. Or not Shift asterisk, Shift quote.
Shift quote.
All right, cool. So we have 2 windows. In the bottom one, type HTOP. Enter. Oh, look at that muscle. All right. Control B and then up arrow. And what we have here is terminal multiplexer. This is whenever people ask me, yo, Rock, what's your shower terminal consist of? It's tmux. That's what I use. It's text only. So they're like, why do you type so slow when you're in the shower? This is why. So we're in Canary Coin. So cd build.
Oh, didn't make it yet.
Thank you very much, Sosuke. I see you in the chat there helping out people, man. I really appreciate you. All right, so let's see. ls, type in ls.
So we were at make dir build.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. We didn't create the directory. Make dir build and cd $_ That means jump into the directory we just created. Space ampersand cmake space ... space ampersand make dash J16.
Okay.
Now watch the bottom display. This is going to be, you can even maximize the screen if you want.
Well, that's not going to make the text any bigger.
Yeah, I know. All right, so hit enter. What?
Oh.
All right, don't worry about it. So do make dir build, and then just do cd build. Okay, cd build, enter, cmake ... I don't know why that didn't work, but oh well. All right, enter. And so this is creating that pre-build file. All right, so do make space dash J16. And yes, Conti, that's right. I type with my nose in the shower.
Okay, and
all right, enter. And you're going to see the CPUs on the bottom just light up. Or at least they should. If this thing hasn't jumped into hyperspace. What just happened?
I don't know. Yeah.
I've never had this. Normally it just lights up and it's just like screaming.
Whoa. Whoa.
It's okay. It'll update itself. Don't worry about it.
All right.
It's probably using so much power that it can barely redraw the screen for the tmux inside of your SSH. Look at that. You're maxed out. So right now we've got like a Dodge Charger in the, on the road, and we're flooring it. We're redlining. This is great. I love seeing this. I try to keep, look, every machine in my place must earn its keep. So at all times it is maxed out every core, because if I'm going to be supplying this power, you need to be doing work.
This is a VPS. I mean, these are cores for rent, man. 50 cents a minute. Better be
yeah,
working.
You got to eat what you kill around here. Get in where you fit in. This is actually going slower than I thought it would. Hit Control C. Let's try something else.
Okay.
Do make dash J8 instead of make dash J16. I think we might have some virtual core shenanigans going on here. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Just blazing.
Okay, yeah.
We got some performance enhancing command lines here.
Yeah, Sosuke is saying 14 or 15 maybe.
What I normally do is the amount of cores minus 1. Because even with mining, you need to factor in what's called affinity. Affinity is like you need one core all the time to be delegating work to the other cores.
So what do you say? Should I go from J8
to J14? You're fine. We're humming along.
Okay.
This is great. As long as we don't run out of RAM, then we'll be fine. But you've got, what, 64 gigabytes of RAM?
No. Right? It's good.
Yeah, and you've got 0 swap space, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to troll for some questions
here.
Look.
Hang on. There's Davor Suvak. That's Vortis, the creator of Work Tips. Work Tips is kind of like the little brother of TurtleCoin. Everybody should check them out. They're sorry to interrupt you, Seth. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I saw his. I used to keep meticulous notes on every user that came into the chat, and I tend to remember people by their icon. That's Vortis right there, Davor Suvak. But he's the lead developer for Work Tips, and what they are is like a currency to pay like freelancers and stuff like that. So he's working on a freelancing platform. He was one of the brave souls that forked Turtlecoin before we had a forking guide. So like he was out there with a machete chopping weeds and shit, like trying to make it, like just blind. So he did a great job, and he's still doing stuff. So everybody go and check out their Discord. It's kind of like Turtlecoin's little brother. Like they're really doing stuff over there. So very proud of them.
I want to take a question from the comments here. Sosuke asks, Seth, are you going to dump BitTube now and pump Canary Coin?
Never.
Yeah, right. I mean, I'd have to tie in some kind of IPFS service. Yeah. To Canary Coin that is not within the scope. So
we had a guy that built a video platform on Turtlecoin because we're talking about our smart contract layer. Like we've set up this layered approach to things, and we've got this secondary chain called Karai for smart contracts. And there was a guy that was like, "What, smart contracts?" And he just went ahead and deployed a video service on the main Turtlecoin chain, which straight up just like broke us for about 3 days. My God, it was the most harrowing experience ever. I think I might have told you guys about it, but I'm not mad at him or anything. It's not an attack. It's basically we set up the rules to the game. He played them, and we were like, well, thing about that is, our wallets weren't prepared to assimilate all of that extra data in the blocks, and the memory pool was just full. So, note to self: use IPFS next time. Are you staring in amazement, or are you just like, what is this guy talking about?
No.
Okay, just making sure.
I'm making the Canary Coin Discord server because I've been asked 4 times. There it is, guys.
Just a heads up, make an exile channel.
Well, right now it's going to be like all spamtastic, so just jump in and offer help.
I will. I'll join. My username is RockSteady TRTL. I don't have, I keep everything very segregated. So you see how your VPS there is in its own little virtual machine type deal. I live in virtual machines. So pretty much that's the way things work. None of my computers have native operating systems on them. It's just kind of like hypervisor type stuff.
Nice.
So well, the great thing, the bad thing about it is that you see how you had to allocate resources for one machine versus the other?
Yeah.
Well, you can't adjust that on the fly. So my Turtlecoin machine takes 100% of the resources of the hypervisor. So, oh, look at that. Conti says, if you sweet talk me just right, I'll fork you a Canary Coin tip bot. He's the guy that created the rewrite of he did the C# rewrite of Mad K's Turtlecoin tip bot. And he also created Rainborg, which if you guys were present on the Dogecoin Doge dice, shout out to Duke. But if y'all were on that chat back in the day, you probably remember the Doge tip bot, which was for rain. And people, oh, look, there you go. You're already compiled.
Nice.
Okay. So I'm going to shelf that story about the Doge tip rainbot. Somebody in the chat, go ahead and take that over if there's anybody interested in the rambling.
Let's go back to the. So you'll notice also that you're not going to hear them, but everybody in the live stream is going to hear that if you already jumped into the Canary Coin Discord server,
Canary Coin,
that you can jump into the voice party line and we'll hear you. But actually, I'm hanging up now. Bye.
It's brutal. Okay, so type LS. So you see what we have here is like a whole bunch of everything, and none of it looks like anything that's even recognizable. A lot of people at this point are like, where did my files go? This is bullshit. So do CD source, SRC, enter, LS.
Okay.
The green ones are all of your programs. So Canary Coin D, we're going to need to transfer that to your other servers. So do sudo apt install magic -wormhole. No. Apt space install.
Got it.
Bob Stone, he says, I really appreciate how RockSteady always seems to remember the contributors to the community around him. This is two factors. You can go ahead and press Y, Seth. This is two factors. Without recognizing these people, I wouldn't. The entire network wouldn't be where we are now if it wasn't for the community. Like I said before, I'm not a great programmer, and all of these people are helping to fix my mistakes and things like that. And they are coming together to create something bigger than themselves. And so that's why I try to make note of everybody that comes and brings their picture to me. Hey, I made this. Great. I will get a bigger refrigerator just to pin it on the front because I'm proud of all of you. And that's the essential part of a community, is letting other people take ownership of their tasks, because there's so many people out there willing to make things for your network. You just have to give them the chance to take a piece and make something theirs. So with that being said, we have Magic Wormhole installed.
Nice.
So let's do wormhole send space.
Okay.
Canary coin, or whatever the daemon name was. You can type in CANA and hit tab.
I did not complete when I tried tab.
Okay, let's try canary coin D, I think it's called. Is it capitalized? I think it's capital C's. You could do LS.
Yeah, I'm gonna be lazy. Yeah. Take the cameras way out.
Wormhole send. Magic Wormhole is a great tool that you can use to send programs from one computer to another. So type in canary coin D, or you could even type in a message or something like that. Well, you have to do it case sensitive. So capitals.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, enter. And it's going to give you 2 words and a number. So on the other computer, let's go to seed 1, and we're going to type in wormhole receive, and we're going to put in that little wormhole code. So hit cd ...
Wait, what will I need to install wormhole?
You will actually. So sudo apt install magic-wormhole, but we're also going to need to move out of this directory.
Okay. He's right.
One more again.
Okay.
All right, there you go. So sudo apt install magic-wormhole. SCP is great, by the way, Lexi. I love SCP. It's a great upgrade to FTP. So what Alexi in the chat is bringing up is SCP, which is... It's okay. Just no hyphen.
Yeah.
So SCP is the secure copy complement to SSH. So if you don't like using PuTTY, you can use WinSCP by going to ninite.com/WINSCP, and it's a graphical, basically like graphical PuTTY, except you, if you need to put in a command or something like that, you click PuTTY, and it'll start up PuTTY from WinSCP. It's great.
Nice. It looks like that's installed now.
Okay, great. So you can do wormhole receive and then 5-caretaker-rocker.
Okay. And then just enter?
All right, enter. Yes. Boom. Isn't that awesome? Okay, so on Canary Seed 1,
okay,
we're going to do /canary coin D. No, it's got to be case sensitive.
Yes, okay.
And you can use tab to tab complete if you'd like.
It didn't let me, which is weird.
Okay, that's fine. Oh, here's why. Hit backspace. We need, okay, so whenever we do this sending from one server to the other, it's just sending it as raw bits. So it kind of forgets that it's an application along the way. So hit backspace one more time.
Okay.
And we're going to do chmod for, it's chmod space plus X, okay, space, canary coin D, case sensitive. And so what this is going to do is say, hey, you're a program again. So now do /C and then hit tab. Boom.
Okay. Nice.
We are now a executable. Hit enter. So we're up and running right now. You'll have to change that ASCII right there, but we're up and running. You see your new top block detected? That's waiting to be mined. So let's go ahead and magic wormhole over to server number 2.
Okay.
And then we're going to send, you already know how to do it. You're doing great, man.
Hey, thanks. Some of this, there's a little bit of a bash that I remember, so it's kind of coming back.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? I remember before we even had bash, man, shit was hard. We used to have this thing called the corn shell, spelled like the band. What? Oh, somebody is already mining. Somebody just mined your pre-mine, dude.
Yes, they did. I mean, it's dirty.
Yeah, see, this is why I don't go with the pre-mine, but hopefully that's somebody that you like. But since this is just a test net, let's just not worry about it for now.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Right?
Oh, this is great.
It's live.
Yep. But what you can do after this, let's go ahead and set up seed node 2. So obviously your network is working. You've got people connecting. Go ahead and type status into that seed 1 and let's see what happens. So you're block 13 of 13. You're synced. You've got 4 hashes a second. That's not right completely. But yeah, you're doing good so far. So your network is up and hashing now. Somebody stole your Genesis block. So, word to the wise, if you're going to do this, go ahead and mine your Genesis pre-mine first.
Yeah, guys, this is a community coin. Not worried about it. Like Brock said, it is a test net, so.
Yeah, whenever you're ready to do ProgPow, my recommendation is to form your foundation then, and then go ahead and mine in secret the first, 5 blocks or whatever like that, and then go ahead and pass it off. So, having gone through this whole experience, man, how do you feel?
Great.
Do you want to create a wallet or something like that? See how this works?
That would be awesome.
All right, because we could have still messed up that part. So let's go to let's fire up the daemon on the big computer here.
Okay. Also, I'm going to receive the daemon over here on this side. So
you don't have to. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Ali, I'm out of beer already.
Also, I probably need to do some updates, right?
Probably. Mining in secret is pre-mining. That's pretty funny. So somebody mined this by basically going to the repository and compiling the software before I walked them through how to fire it up. So they were basically just waiting for the seed nodes to come up. So that was actually pretty funny.
Well, I mean, 3 guesses who it is. Somebody literally said in the comments that they were already compiled.
Yeah. Conti says, in before Rock mined the pre-mine. That's funny.
Okay,
so you pre-mine without a wallet by creating your wallet address. So you basically have to run Z wallet, and then you create an address, and then you go to your solo miner and you launch your solo miner with your address as the pre-mine address. And then as soon as you mine that first block, basically it's first one to make it takes it. So it's great. Survival of the fittest. This guy says, I just checked Google Play for Android Electrum wallet for Canary Coin. Why so slow? So you're going to be getting a lot of these Win, Moon, and things like that. Here's the number. So running a large Discord, I'm sure I don't have to tell you much about this, but there's several personality types that you should always watch out for and always meet them with extreme hostility. And it's people who walk into your chat and immediately want to speak to the guy at the top. They don't know who you are or anything. They're like, "Hey, I need to speak to the developers." They kick open the door. Okay, they kick open the fucking door every time. They kick it open and they're like, "I need to speak to the developers. Who's the guy at the top? I need to speak to him about this big business opportunity." Or they'll approach you with an idea and they're like, "Nope, it can only be direct messages. By the way, disable your DMs." Okay, if anybody's going to pull any bullshit or try to be dishonest or do anything stupid, it's going to happen in the DMs. So disable your DMs. Okay. Then next, anybody who immediately comes in and wants to speak to the person at the top, ban that person. Nothing of value comes from those people. Not a goddamn thing of value. Okay. So the next person that you want to ban are people that come in and immediately ask for a position that comes with inherent authority. So there's a personality type of person that comes in and they're like, "Hey, I'm a power moderator. I moderate all these other Discords. They've got 600 people and, all this stuff." Basically what that means is I've got these 3 bots from GitHub and I know how to set them up and I can set it up on your server and I want to be the boss on your server. The people that look for inherent power and the people that look to speak to those that are in power are 2 types of people that will never contribute anything of value to your community ever. So just get rid of them right off the bat. And the people that are about contributing stuff will just contribute stuff. They don't ask. Okay? So there's several types of people, and those are the 2 types that just right off the top can be discarded.
Well, hey, I definitely, on that note, I got to give a big shout out to Kevin Mosia and then also to Corey Brown, who are moderators both on the comment section of my YouTube channel and also moderators in Discord and then on Facebook, because they just roll their sleeves up and get to work when it comes to managing community needs. So
yep, if somebody's about it, they just get up and do it themselves. They don't necessarily ask, "Hey, can I put on the crown?" It's I don't know. It's like jumping into police academy and being like, "No, I don't need it. I know what a gun is. Let me get my badge." So you're set up on seed 2 if you want to go ahead and set that up. Mm-hmm. We're pretty much done at this point. Is there, you want to take some questions?
There's some questions I think popping up from before. Guys, yeah, this is 2.5 hours that we're in. So first off, comment, Jake says, "I like Rock more and more as he drinks more and more."
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, man. You're free to fill my cup anytime.
And Conti asks the important questions. When, Moon Seth, are you the CEO?
Yeah. Anybody that asks for the CEO is definitely a problem. So just pick somebody random. Alien's our CEO. It's actually his birthday today. Happy birthday, Alien. Nice. Mrs. Rock just walked in. That wasn't Seijo. But anyway.
And Sosuke reminds me that I'm officially a hacker now because I can watch all this text fly by. The text of somebody else mining? Yeah, I'm definitely a hacker. I'm hardcore, you can tell.
That is hardcore. When Lambo? I don't know when Lambo, but when Toyota Tercel? Soon.
TM. Okay, so no, not many questions. Guys, throw some questions in the comment section. We need questions. Someone make a pool quick. Hey, we're on it. Moving as fast as canary wings can fly.
Mike says, "Someone make a pool quick."
Okay, so I'll get Canary Coin D going over here. Oh, there it is, Canary Coin D. And you said that. Yeah, I'm running it this way.
Yep.
/.
Well, you gotta chmod it.
Okay.
Chmod plus X.
Okay, thank you. Oh, the ASCII's all sad.
Yeah, it gets a little weird. I think it's looking for like 88 by 31 or something like that. Seth Estrada, when are you going mainnet from Sasuke?
Soon, TM.
Soon, TM. Yeah, I'm guessing that's going to have to do with like ProgPal. Whenever you set up ProgPal, probably go on another brief test net for services to get up and running, and then basically here's the difference between a test net and a mainnet. You always want a test net going. Okay, you need the test net to be able to test things that could break your entire network or break consensus. There's been times where we've implemented things where we wished we would have had a test net, but we didn't, and luckily it didn't blow up in our faces. So it's kind of like tinkering with one of those chemistry kits, and we're just kind of mixing stuff together. So things can go wrong, and a test net is kind of where you want it to happen. Right quick now, what's one project you wish existed for Canary Coin already? A video platform. Nice.
Question mark, yeah. Question mark, because I'm not sure. But I think I'm gonna spin down Canary Crusher here. Some hemorrhaging over in Canary Crusher.
If you've already compiled, you don't even need it.
So closing the session there. And oh, come on.
Conti says I could do that, but I'm going to blow your network right up, and he's not wrong. You can actually there's actually a script in the scripts folder that allows you to stick things in the metadata of blocks. And I think the first thing that was ever recorded in the TurtleCoin blockchain was somebody talking trash to one of our biggest pool administrators at the time, this guy by the name of Cision, and he called him like some really bad names. And it's in one of our early blocks. But now people put all kinds of things like chapters from books or like just messages. I've put like Rock was here a few times. By default, the script puts a ASCII turtle in there. But Mike G says, sorry if I missed this. In what language will the smart contracts be written in? Solidity? We'll probably be creating our own domain-specific language or create some type of API for people to create libraries for their own languages. But it would be really cool if we could, bust out with something like Haskell. But given that we're trying to meet people where they are and make this a little bit easy, we're probably going to make it a little bit broader than just that. But I mean, it would be great if I could just put my little nerd hat on and go straight Haskell. So Alexi says, what he needs to change in code to have both mainnet and testnet, just make it on Newport. Well, you just change the network byte. You can also do the -- testnet, but that can cause problems as you change things, and you'll see that it activates on mainnet as well as testnet. So that's the problem with that. Let's see. Is this video going to be something linked and referenced to for a long time going forward? Great work here. We could probably link to it in our guide.
Cool.
Seth, if you want to chime in on that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Guys, this is a community service. So Canary Coin, it launches today. So yes, Canary Coin is a project that I've been intending to get launched for some time. But it's kind of a question of, assembling the airplane mid-flight. We kind of just jumped in because Rock was like, hey, I can help you fork Turtle. And I said, you know what? That's more help than anybody else has offered so far. So let's do this.
Just to give you some context, if you haven't seen our main website, I literally set up TurtleCoin with putting one hand over one eye so that there wasn't two sets of text on the screen. And there were quite a few beers involved. So it's not something that's super difficult if you have a basic amount of Linux knowledge.
Yeah, so Passamani asked, what is Canary Coin's real world use? And I appreciate that you asked that. Let me peel something back a little bit, because I talked to Rock about this last week offline. But there's a much more involved roadmap, and so it's likely going to have to be a fork merge at some point in the not too distant future in order to get to Canary Coin's real world use. So, Sasuke, you asked, is it like a canary in the coal mine? Why canary? Yeah, that's exactly it. So the idea is that Canary Coin, if it can't be mined by GPUs, then everybody's screwed, because it means that GPU mining is not long for this world if you can't mine Canary Coin.
Yeah, that's great. And, TurtleCoin, that's something that, we didn't even start with a purpose. We were just like, well, we're just doing it, and let's see what happens. And then I really didn't expect it to be working the next day. And so the next day, everything was still working, and people were like, hey, what are we doing with this thing? And so we created a Discord server and just went from there. And pretty early on, there was something that really changed my life. It was called the Charles Hoskinson Cardano whiteboard video. And it's a long video, but basically if you see kind of like a a brown-haired guy with glasses and a pocket protector standing in front of a whiteboard, you found the right video. So Charles Hoskinson is one of the guys that founded the original Ethereum. And then whenever Ethereum decided that they were going to roll back just certain transactions and things like that, he was like, no. Let's just branch off and create Ethereum Classic. And so the real Ethereum became Ethereum Classic, and then whatever that other shenanigans is became Ethereum Mainnet. I said it. Come and get me if you have something to say about it. So he later on went to form IOHK, which is Input Output Hong Kong, and he made a whiteboard video description of Cardano, which is their main project, and they're also custodial members of Ethereum Classic. And so Cardano has a 3-tiered system, and this is kind of what we've modeled TurtleCoin after. So Cardano has, well, I'll just tell you how TurtleCoin is. It's just like Cardano. So TurtleCoin has the TurtleCoin chain, which is a fast blocks, fast payments, lean payments network. That's our transactional layer. Then we have Karai, which is where all the smart contracts and that stuff goes. That's our computational layer. Then we have Athena, which is the one that we didn't even plan to work on it, but then I started adding things like block halting and that type of stuff for, a very economical use of data propagation, and that's our settlement layer. And so all three, we have somewhat of like a block mesh, like a parallel mesh for this network to work together and to kind of be a little bit greener than regular proof of work mining for each chain, and everything works in tandem to create this layered presentation, like this cake, this product like Cardano is. And that was something that really changed my life as far as looking at things. So that was from a previous project, that was something that I was thinking about. And whenever I saw that video, that gave me the validation, like TurtleCoin is the perfect place. And at the time, I didn't take TurtleCoin very seriously in the beginning. It was only a few days in. And I was like, well, if this is just for fun and I've got all these people here, I might as well try it. And so I created the milestones for the way things were going to work with some current concepts that I was toying with. And here we are now. And I'm just surprised that it's worked. And so many people have believed in the vision and came along and helped work on that. So that's kind of where we're going.
Nice. Well, hey, Rock, we can go. Man, we're going hard here. 2.5 hours.
Yeah, if you want to, it sounds like you want to shut it down. You got dinner on the way or something?
No, I don't. Yeah,
it's all right.
No, sadly, like I basically am chained to my desk all the time. So this is not new. I'm probably going to be working for another 3-4 hours.
That's cool. Hey, if you guys need any help, if you need any guidance setting up services like pools, things like that, come over to chat.turtlecoin.lol. We're going to go ahead and we have a communities tab in there where we create rooms for all the different CryptoNote currencies so that everybody can have a little piece of home whenever they come to our chat. I'm going to create the Seth Coin chat. And then if you guys have any questions, just pop in there and ping me. Ask me if you have any questions, anything like that. We'll be happy to help you out with Seth Coin or TurtleCoin regardlof
definitely appreciate it. And you guys saw the Discord link in the comments here. That's right now placeholder, right? So really most of the transformational conversations are going to be taking place over there in the TurtleCoin Discord. So
well, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey, my pleasure. Always a pleasure. Hopefully we'll get to do this again. And maybe we'll do a wallet or something else next time.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks, Seth.
All right. Hey guys, we'll see you next time.
Don't forget to subscribe.